Well, you know, the Utah Valley Boys was formed in 1961 by Bruce Phillips with Bruce Cummings and Bai Davis and Steve Lawson and Fred Reinhardt, those five. And it was a bluegrass group, but I think that it was always kind of fractured, even from the very beginning, because Bruce Phillips really was not a bluegrass guy. He was a composer and a poet, and he made songs, but he was always, they spent 3 years wrangling around trying to jam his songs into a bluegrass mold, and I think there were it was a disconnect right from the start. You know, he and Rosalie are alike in a lot of ways. They both had theater training in an early point in their lives, and they both apply what they learned about theater in their performance. Bruce told me, and I'm sure he tells everyone who interviews him, that when he does a performance, he plans it down to the last detail, and he will rehearse it extensively. But when he gets on stage, you think it's spontaneous, but everything that happens is planned, and that's one reason that he's so successful as an artist. He doesn't make mistakes.
Bruce Phillips taught at Southeast Music in Sugar House, and it was a great thing to be able to go take guitar lessons from Phillips, and also just sort of key into his politics. I mean, we were always sort of on the outskirts of his politics, but an important part of that was the Joe Hill House here in Salt Lake City, and that was another thing that I was privileged to be able to go to the Joe Hill House, to meet Ammon Hennessy, who ran it, to see people that were riding the rails, who were down and out, and have folk music connect on that level. And that was my earliest remembrance of Bruce Phillips.
Bruce was just really excited about something that he had not really allowed himself to think about for a long time. When he left in Salt Lake in 1969, he said he'd never come back. And when I saw him in 04 and 05, he was willing. He had changed, and he was able to remember. He was able to talk about it. And anyway, he got all excited about this whole time, the 60s, and said, wouldn't it be great if we had a concert with all these old guys?
This is my partner in crime.